Hello, my friends. Hello, my family. We are live. Welcome to Revolutionary Blackout Saturday Live. Welcome, fam. We got a lot to talk about, especially a story I've been wanting to do for quite some time. Tucker Carlson released an unhinged article that essentially proved everything I've been saying correct about him for quite some time. And the establishment tricks and the games they play with a two-party game. We're gonna get to that soon. To get started out, I appreciate you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe. Make sure you guys check out our last few lives we had as well. I had Fiorella Isabel on earlier this week from the Convo Couch. If you guys missed that, make sure you guys check that out. That was a great conversation. We had so many guests. We had Fiorella from Convo Couch. We had Margaret Kimberly. I'm gonna quote her today as well from Black Agenda Report. We had Benjamin Norton on as well from Multipolarista. We had Asal Rod on. Bro, this literally last 2 weeks. Last 2 weeks, we've been having all these banger anti-imperialist guests. So I hope you guys have been appreciating the content. Help us out. Me and CJ have been talking today. They really fucking with our page. They really suppressed us. So please like, subscribe, and share, my friends. Let's get started. I want to give a shout out to a comrade here, and I want to start the show with this because we always talk about a lot of angry topics, a lot of depressing stuff that's going on, but I believe our message is meant to inspire. I think the people who say we have to rely on politicians for our salvation. We got to vote every 2 years. Hope the politicians will save us. I think that actually depowering and that create nihilists. What our message is, let's do more for our community. I was talking to Rome. We have these conversations behind the scenes all the time on Revolutionary Blackout. I'm learning a lot from him. I want to start a socialist organization in Kansas City. These are things I'm thinking about. These things that I want to do. Casey tenants, they've been knocking on doors, getting people in their citywide tenant union. I want to do something like that. Like I want to sign people up to their tenant union, knock on doors, because everyone's struggling. The economy hitting everyone hard. This is the prime time for us to go out in the community and radicalize people. That's what I did when I quit my job and I went to multiple states giving speeches in black barbershops, door to door, talking to people. Even back then, before the whole COVID thing hit, that was literally a few months before COVID. People was hurting. Capitalists now trying to pretend that COVID is the new thing that hurt people. Nah, this thing, it's been bad. But anyway, let me give a shout out to my comrade here, Casey. Sharing truth and fact that found on the Revolutionary Blackout Network. Get on the streets, get out, and spread the word. It's time to fight. Hashtag change is now. Hashtag solidarity. Hashtag mutual aid. Hashtag Jones strike now. Now because the Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade, I seen people tweeting out general strike. Who had a general strike summit literally last year? RBN, we just getting started. We already had the game. So once again, big shout out to Casey. This is what, like, even hearing one story like this, I get this all the time. I'm gonna start spotlighting these on these shows even more because I want to show you guys solutions. I want to show you guys the community building that we have at RBN and the RBN community. You guys are part of the RBN community just by fighting the worker struggle. So big shout out to Casey. I would love to see more of this. If even one person tell us that we encourage them to get into mutual aid, that we encourage them to get in the streets, that's good. That's a big change instead of people just saying that we should support politicians. Please find an organization in your area. I talked to people in the Casey People's Party, the Casey Green Party. I talked to Casey tenants. I interviewed them. I was on the ground covering their events. I tried to do the best I can in this red state plus neoliberal shithole that we live in. So everything that you could do in terms of helping this worker struggle, please take that first step. Everyone has a role in this movement. Even if just going out talking to your neighbors, even if it's cooking pies or something, even if it's something simple, just to help the movement go on. That's why I want to start the show today with, because now we got people in the streets. We got people in the streets now because Roe v. Wade was struck down. Even though 5 weeks ago, this was leaked. And then the dishonest right wing was like, oh my God, they're not actually going to do it. This is a leak. Then they did it. The Democratic Party, 5 weeks in advance, has no plan. Not only do they have no plan, because it's actually misstating it, they are actively supporting anti-abortion oligarchs and politicians. Henry Saylor. There's a recent article I just read from him. He was here. Let me show you guys this, since I'm on the topic. And then I'm gonna get to the main stories here soon. Henry Saylor to Democrats: let me be. So after having the entire Democratic Party apparatus campaign for him, and that helped him win because he went against Jessica Cisneros, who was a progressive primary challenger. I don't know a ton about her. I wasn't that much into electoral politics in these races, but I know she's not anti-abortion. And you had the Democratic Party come out and support Henry Saylor over Jessica Cisneros because they're not going to concede any ground on the class war. Are we clear? Saylor said progressives' demands for the party to move left on immigration, gun rights, and other issues risk big losses in November. Now, what he's essentially saying is he trying to tell AOC and the squad that they found their rotating villain of the day instead of calling out the establishment. Now he's like, guys, chill, back off, man. Let me be. Let me be a corrupt oligarch that sells out to Wall Street, the military-industrial complex, the police state, and right-wing authoritarians. Let me be. So my point is, the Democratic Party is complicit, and the message of this show. Let me pull it up. I've been learning from CJ too, trying to get better at the banners. This is the point I want to make, and this is why none of the fear tactics get to me. All U.S. branches are criminal and illegitimate. Are we clear? And I have to, once again, I gotta try to stop myself from this sometimes. Cause I'm like, man, the Supreme Court going out of control, man. You hear this all the time. The Supreme Court is out of control, guys. Yeah, man. Yeah, they're striking rights down left and right. They've been doing that for one. But two, that is true. It is true. The Supreme Court is increasingly unhinged because the Federalist Society took over the Supreme Court, as well many federal courts, because Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell cut a deal. Chuck Schumer and Democrats helped fast track judges under Donald Trump. That's what led to the federal judge crisis that we're in right now. Ruth Bader Ginsburg refusing to retire led to the crisis right now. The Democrat, not even codifying Roe v. Wade, led to this situation right now. But I don't even have to fight the argument that the Supreme Court is unhinged, because it is. The Supreme Court is an unhinged, illegitimate institution. But remember, guys, we are not the accelerists, because now people are in the streets like, let's abolish the Supreme Court. Guys, who was saying this last year? When people were like, you guys are saying this stuff so you guys can be edgy. My politics, our Marxist politics at Revolutionary Blackout will help prevent a lot of these issues that we face today. Like, people it takes for us losing rights. It takes us for things getting really bad for people to wake up to basic conclusions that is obvious to me. We got institutions that was built by white supremacists, war criminals, like the worst people. This society is not a sane, civilized society. We got people in the streets. In other countries, they don't have the homeless crisis. China don't have a homeless crisis. Cuba don't have a homeless crisis. The DPRK don't have a homeless crisis. With the amount of wealth we have, there should be no homeless in this country, but there is. That's a failure of the legislative branch, which Congress at any given time will have an approval rating that floats between 15 to 22%. You guys realize that? That's called a failed institution, and everyone knows it. People just vote for the lesser two evils. Like, man, this system sucks. Politicians suck. Republicans sucks. Democrats sucks. But I hate the Republicans more, so I'm gonna vote for the Democrats. The Democrats suck, so I'm gonna vote for the Republicans. That's the only legitimacy that is given to our system is our vote, which why it makes no sense for people continuing to give them that legitimacy that we give away for no reason. Nancy Pelosi in the ghouls of Congress are just as illegitimate as the Supreme Court. And you guys see the difference? Because on RBN, I have been saying this. We have been saying this for quite some time. Now it took the Supreme Court to take away our Fourth Amendment, have DHS invading people's homes, Roe v. Wade being codified, and now people are like, damn, maybe we should abolish the Supreme Court. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. So that's 2 out of 3. And I can go all day about how illegitimate our legislative branch in this country is, of Congress is. But when was the last time that we had a leader or any administration in the executive branch that was not a war criminal? Don't worry, I'll wait. So we have a judicial branch filled with Federalist Society goons. We have a legislative branch that has an approved rating of 15 to 22% at even any given time. And then people are like, oh my God, the Russian people, they want to boycott, they want to protest against Putin. They are so upset at Putin. Guys, Putin has like an 80% approval rating. Compare that to Nancy Pelosi. Compare that to Joe Biden, who's like 33%. Look at the approval ratings of people and leaders of other countries. Because they at least get their material conditions met the best that their government can. We the richest country. A ton of millionaires, billionaires. Income inequality through the roof. And people are starving. So yes, the Supreme Court is illegitimate and extreme. But the point that I want to make to continue to prop the Overton window to the left, I want you guys to understand all of these branches are illegitimate. So let's see. What's I see some people ask about Tucker. Let's do that next. That's my intro. So let's get to Tucker Carlson. That'll be our next story. We'll try to keep these condensed today. So the message of RBN is that two-party duopoly. Like, you shouldn't vote for Republicans or you shouldn't vote for Democrats. You shouldn't support Fox News. You shouldn't support MSNBC. And I don't understand how this is a profound message to people. I legitimately don't get it. I legitimately don't understand how this is a profound message. The two-party duopoly and all of their agents suck. If you are a Democratic Party agent and operative, you suck. If you're a Republican Party operative and agent, you suck. And remember, what have I told you guys? I'm trying to improve as a citizen journalist, as a commentator. So when I talk about these issues of capitalism, imperialism, state violence, I have to hear from the opposition because I have to hear what they say. I got to hear the language. So I've been watching a lot of corporate news, especially on stuff like Ukraine, on economics. I've been watching Fox News. And let me say this before I get into Tucker Carlson. When I'm doing my Oppo research, I can't stomach the majority of the Fox News hosts. Let me say that. So I can't even watch their show because it's so ridiculous. Like when I listen to Laura Ingraham, for example, I can't do it. So I give Tucker that. I can at least sit through a Tucker segment and I would be interested, like, man, those are legitimately interesting propaganda techniques you're employing, Tucker. And I'm going to explain to you guys the Tucker Carlson propaganda techniques. Caitlin Johnstone, thank you for shouting her out. Amazing foreign policy writer who've been calling out Tucker Carlson for the same reasons I'm about to. There's a lot of people who are not disciplined and they really don't understand what imperialism is. They don't understand imperialism as Lenin and as Marxist-Leninists, as we define it, an entire economic core system that is supported by violence, which means hostile army, militias, prison industrial complexes, This is imperialism. Tucker Carlson critique of the United States was never reducing United States imperialism. It was bad foreign policy. Do you guys know Tucker Carlson supported the Iraq War? A lot of people don't like to talk about that. He rebranded and realized that war was unpopular. Then he supported the next big thing, and then that war was unpopular. Then he supported the next. You guys know the new thing he's supporting now? The war against China, the new Cold War against China. The criticism that right-wing populists have of the Ukraine war, which you hear about from Tucker Carlson all the time, their criticism is not that we should stay the fuck out of other people's countries and have a multipolar world and society, which I believe in. They believe it. They say, oh, the George W. Bushes, the Dick Cheneys, and these people are unhinged because they have bad strategy to expand U.S. dominance. So what they would say, we wasting time in Ukraine, and this is the argument that Tucker made. He said that Ukraine has no geopolitical significance to the U.S. So when he argues against the Ukraine war, he's saying, guys, this is bad strategy. Let's focus over here. And that's what he's saying in his new op-ed. I'm going to show you guys here very soon. We're going to get to that. The op-ed he wrote. Essentially he's saying that we should be focused on China. We should find a new Cold War. And if you're an anti-imperialist, you got to explain, so why would that be our goal as a working class movement? Why is that something where we will care about? Shouldn't our message be ending and reducing the military-industrial complex and not supporting either party that support that? Tucker Carlson spreading the lie of the global Marxist elites. I don't know what you mean by the last part, but he's part of the system, and we're gonna get to this here very soon. He's part of the system, and he's playing his role. And we're gonna go to the article, and I'm gonna show you what he is doing, the strategy that he's employing, and is actually, to me, is very transparent. Because even if he says something good on a topic, he does the same exact thing that the squad does. He's the same thing as TYT. He would say the right thing, but then the solution to support the Republican Party, isn't that what we call out AOC and the squad for doing? But he get the virtue signal about being a friend of the workers while supporting an anti-worker ideology and party. Can someone explain to me how that makes sense? And what I've noticed is people, because they have no discipline, they using the COVID culture war, like the fight against the mandates, which I agree. I was against mandates, and a lot of these agreements that the right-wing populists will bring up, we will agree with. I wasn't for mandates. I believe Fauci is corrupt, and our government completely ruined their COVID response, right? But people who got that issue right, like people like Ron DeSantis, people like Tucker Carlson, and then they will whitewash their neocon politics. You guys notice this? You had Joe Rogan, who he endorsed Bernie Sanders. He endorsed Bernie Sanders last year. And as someone who listened to his podcast in the early days, I heard him speak out against endless war. He just endorsed Ron DeSantis. Why? The guy who's literally cracking down on protests, who cracked down on BDS, he's anti-First Amendment. But he was like, well, Ron DeSantis did good on COVID, so he got my endorsement. You see what these dum-dums are doing? These people use one issue, the COVID issue, and like, we're going to whitewash all these fucking neocons. And Tucker Carlson, now I cannot emphasize this enough, supported the Iraq war. Are we clear on this? And he was like, I regret that. So now you support the war against China. So you support always the thing that the neocons and the Republican Party want you to. And people are like, I can't believe that Tucker Carlson is allowed to go on Fox News and speak the truth. Why do you guys think that this guy is allowed to be on prime time Fox News, the channel that supported every single U.S. war? You think he don't have a role to play? Do people really believe that he just infiltrated a capitalist, imperialist structure like Fox News? Like, I hear this stuff and it drives me crazy. And we're just getting started. because I haven't even showed you guys the article yet. Tucker Carlson's article. Let's get. I think I did a good. I think I did a good preface. Let's get into it. Let me share my screen here, and I'm gonna show you guys why people who think Tucker Carlson is anything other than anti-imperialist, it's just misguided. I don't even know what else to say. This is his op-ed. He released on Fox News June 30th. And I want to explain to you guys that this op-ed just proved what I've been saying right for quite some time. Everything that I have said about Tucker Carlson just now in my intro, I have said over and over again on RBN. And this is the reason why we turn off a lot of these fucking white working class right-wing populist people. They're like, oh my God, you bash Ron DeSantis. You bash Tucker Carlson. Fuck off. You're a part of the two-party duopoly if you're supporting these people. And I am asking you guys, explain to me the difference between what TYT does and Tucker Carlson do. TYT would get some issues, and they would sound good on the issue, but then at the end of the day, they would say vote for the Democratic Party. That's the same thing that Tucker does, but for the Republican Party. So you see how we have consistency on this channel? Look at this. Tucker Carlson, allowing Brazil to become a colony of China will be a significant blow to us. Look at the framing in this article. Guys, how do we as workers benefit from this unhinged Cold War capitalist imperialist campaign against China and a multipolar society? It's not benefiting us. Look at gas prices. Look at the workers being crushed. And this is even more unhinged. Tucker Carlson explains why Bolsonaro is no Justin Trudeau. Bro, look at any interview we just did with Ben Norton, Fiorella Isabel. I just had a slate of anti-imperialists on the channel. We had Josana, our amazing revolutionary blackout sister, who's from Brazil, who would tell you the insane crimes of Bolsonaro and how he's a puppet of U.S. imperialism. But Tucker loved Bolsonaro because he's a puppet of U.S. imperialism. So I am challenging people. How is he anti-imperialist? Going by Lenin's framing of imperialism, that being the highest stage of capitalism. Tucker wants economic imperial domination of the American capitalist regime. That means he is an imperialist. How is this a confusing topic? So the article gets even more unhinged, right? See, and Lula have a lot of issues too, but Lula is at least opposing the U.S. imperial core. He want to break away from that. Bolsonaro is a bootlicking puppet, a psychopathic maniac who waged a genocide against the indigenous people of Brazil, and he sent in mercenaries against Venezuela to overthrow Nicolas Maduro. But Tucker Carlson is supportive of this Brazilian imperialist regime who's trying to overthrow Venezuela, but people keep pretending that he's anti-war and he's anti-imperialist? Are we serious? That's why I had to do the stream today. I had to do it, especially after this article, because this article literally covers everything we've been saying about Tucker. So let's dive into it. Hopefully I missed no super chats. If you guys leave some super chats, I get into it. But I have a lot to cover. So hopefully you guys just enjoy the show. Please like, share, and subscribe. We're gonna get a lot of pissed off chuds in this one, but I'm tired of people pretending this guy Sunday he's not, because he serves a role in what he's trying to accomplish, and he's actually been very successful at this. So we have to start calling it out, right? So let's get into his article, and I'm gonna debunk this. I'm going to debunk this literally live. We had real anti-imperialists like Caitlin Johnstone, Benjamin Norton. A lot of people that have been calling this out as well. So we had to cover this on the channel. Big shout out to all of them. All of them doing great anti-imperialist work. Look at this. I already got to the headline. Got into how crazy this is. This is Tucker Carlson. Just now imagine this smug face while I'm reading this too. Here in the United States, we've been so deeply engrossed in our own debates over whether men should be allowed to compete in girls' swimmer teams or whether it's immoral to carry out groceries in plastic bags. Tucker, that was you. That That was always my criticism of Tucker. Where people pretend he was this staunch working class guy, but he's the number one instrument of the culture war. I remember, and once again, I actually watched him. I don't know a lot of people actually do, but I watched him, and I remember he did a segment over the baby formulas. He was talking about the struggles of the working class, and he was, and it was good to up to that point because you were calling out the Democratic Party, not the Republicans, right? Not them. He was calling out the Democratic Party. He was calling out the ruling class for their failure to take over, to take care of the workers. And during this conversation, at the very end, he was like, "See, this is because the woke mob and trans people." Like he blamed, he took a real serious issue, and then he was like, "This is because the woke mob, people distracted by the trans," even though that's all he covered. That's all these people cover. That's the entire right-wing media apparatus. Is they're against the Democratic Party, and they just complain about trans people. They complain about gay people. They complain about people who have doing stuff that have nothing to do with them. So he takes real issues. He's like, "Oh, this is because of trans people. This is because of the woke people. This is because of Nancy Pelosi, not because of the Republican Party, though." Now, I'm just getting to start into this article. Look how crazy this is. Look how crazy this article is. Now, this is where he does this head fake all the time. He's like, "Well, the United States is distracted by the culture war, the one that you fan over and over again. You're the highest rated cable news host, and he does nothing but fan the culture war." But look at this. "We miss the fact that the government of China has been busy with its own agenda, taking over the world." Do you guys see why he got a Fox News position now? Why he's a primetime cable news host? In what universe is China taking over the world? They building in Africa. They are not the ones who have 800 military bases. I thought I already got to get into this. I'm gonna show you guys some receipts to show you guys how ridiculous this is. Because if anyone is trying to take over and colonize the world, you would think it would be the country that has 800 military bases, right? You would think. You would think it would be the country that sponsored, supported AFRICOM, that had a military domination in Africa, who supported the far-right military of Colombia that killed leftist leaders, has CIA death squads that ran in the global south that killed socialists, and they're still doing it to this day. They didn't stop doing that. This is from good friend of the show, Fiorella Isabel. I just had her on a few days ago. Make sure you guys check out that interview. She always really great on these topics. Look at this. This is from NATO. So on one hand, Tucker Carlson pretends to speak out against NATO, but he has the same geopolitical ambitions as NATO, because NATO said China is threatening their security. But look, I see nothing but U.S. military bases surrounding Japan, Korea, China, and the entire of Southeast Asia. But according to Tucker, it is China that has been busy taking over the world. Now, this is, once again, great friend of the show. We had Murray Kimberly on, I think 2 weeks ago. I want to explain to you guys what the United States did and ask yourself, why is Tucker Carlson not calling this out? But instead, he's focusing on, quote unquote, China taking over the world. Even though I'm going to show you guys another receipt here soon. I got so many, I'm having a hard time juggling them, right? Where Africans prefer the presence of China. The global south, they know who's been their colonizer. They know who's been their oppressor. Tucker Carlson supports that, though. He supports the suppression of leftist, socialist, and communist ideas. He just have critiques of the war against terror because he doesn't believe that adequately does that. Are we clear? Major friend show Murray Kimberly. This is what she says. There was an interview of hers. So this coming right from her. The presence of AFRICOM turns other nations into puppet states. The targeted country is not only unable to free itself from U.S. influence, but it is also unable to enhance its relationships with other countries. This is why you see the United States, they will go in to Somalia, Ethiopia. They will go into the countries whenever there's any sort of Russian or Chinese influence. And they're like, oh, this is just our God-given right. Let's go on to this next part. They go over Margaret Kimball's amazing accolades here. Question: why does AFRICOM militarize police forces in Africa? What is the aim of this policy? And this is what Margaret explains. The purpose of U.S. Africa Command is to expand U.S. influence and protect its economic and military interests. Now look at the framing of this article by Tucker Carlson. He's for expanding the imperialist capitalist regimes of the United States. Leftists, anti-imperialists are supposed to oppose AFRICOM and NATO. I have no idea why I got explained it so slowly to people who keep saying that Tucker is anti-war. All right, what did I leave off? All the U.S. military commands around the world are organized to deprive other nations and their people of sovereignty by putting them under U.S. control. That is done through the military and also through the police. The two forces are often linked. Why you guys think we talk about the police all the time on the channel? Why you guys don't think we talk about the Israeli forces all the time? Because they're trained with and by the NYPD and our police forces. It's connected under this giant imperialist system that is the highest form of capitalism, as Lenin explained. But Tucker Carlson supports giant police budgets. He is a Zionist, Israel bootlicker. So that means he is, by definition, not anti-imperialist. Are we clear? All right, where'd I go? The presence of AFRICOM turns other nations into puppet states unable to practice self-determination. But according to Tucker, China is the one who is trying to take over the world. The citizens of these countries lose the right to have governments of their choosing, like we saw in Somalia, where you had 300 people that are Somalian elites that are supported by a United States-backed regime, who they're like, oh, we want U.S. troops to come in our country. We want the United States to invade our country. We want U.S. companies to build and exploit our people. But the opposing party was against that. So the United States had CI operations, they had propaganda campaigns, and they did everything they can to get their puppet chosen into power, which was decided by 300 people in the Somali government. Just one example of U.S. policy in Africa that continues to this day. But Tucker Carlson said that China is taking over. Let me skip to this part. We witnessed the U.S. has a hand in destabilizing Africa by implicitly practicing regime change in various countries. How does the U.S. benefit from destabilized Africa? This is Margaret Kimball, base friend of the show. If you guys missed it, we had her on. I think 2 weeks ago. Check out the video. Check out our library. It was a great conversation. The goal of the United States is always to attempt hegemony over as much of the world as possible, which Tucker Carlson supports. The U.S. and NATO are quite willing to create chaos in order to achieve that aim, aka what they're doing in Ukraine right now. Which, to be fair, Tucker has called that out. But I think he's doing it because, as he said, Ukraine has no geopolitical purpose by United States interests. We just got to make sure we are clear on the context. 10 years ago, they destroyed an Libyan state, killed the president, and created an ongoing humanitarian crisis in the Mediterranean. European nations were, in this case, willing to cause problems for themselves domestically in their effort to destroy an independent, oil-rich nation. In doing so, they gave themselves, their military forces, and their corporate interests a free hand to act as they wish and prevent other countries from even attempting to act independently. They do not hesitate to create disorder and suffering in order to achieve political aims. And this is why other countries are preferring China over the United States. This is the the entire basis of the No More movement in Africa. We are tired of the United States and Africa because they have no interest in our people. It's all about expanding full spectrum dominance, which has been the modus operandi of NATO ever since the fall of the USSR. Ask a neoliberal, ask a shitlib, what is the purpose of NATO after the fall of USSR, and watch them stumble. Watch them turn into Bill O'Reilly in real time. Watch someone from the DSA. Ask Bernie Sanders, ask AOC, ask any of these progressives in the Democratic Party. Why do we have NATO after the USSR? And they would turn into Dick Cheney. They would turn into Bill O'Reilly, just like that. Damn, what'd I leave off? I'm gonna read the part. Order. Also, often chaos itself is the goal. So yeah, I'll cut off there in terms of you guys see what Margaret Kimberly said. She's based as hell. Now let's continue. I guess I should do a chat check, right? I can't see the comments. Maybe I should make sure I miss any super chats. Yeah, I don't think I'm missing super chats. If you guys want to talk to me, thanks for the $10, Saul. Appreciate the shout out. We are building a real community here, so we appreciate all the super chats. I'm super excited to meet you guys here coming soon with the traveling and the plans that we have at RBN. So if you guys have anything you want me to read, please do super chat. Let's continue to I'm literally only like one paragraph in this article. Damn, I'm already way longer than I plan on doing this. Here, let's go back to the article. So I'll start from the beginning. Hopefully that explanation you guys will understand why this is BS. What Tucker is saying here. Here in the United States, we've been so deeply engrossed in our own debates over whether men. Oh yeah, I don't know. No need for me to read that part again. That's him saying using the cultural war. He blaming other people, even though he's responsible for that. And he said China has been busy taking over the world. We debunked that. It's actually the United States that have been doing that through the Cold War that never ended. The Cold War was essentially a giant war by the capitalist class that was coordinated by multiple states against countries that was having socialist and communist uprisings. Are we clear? It's not a war. It was an assault by the capitalist class. It was a class war. And look how ridiculous this is. After explaining to you what AFRICOM is, after my explanations before of how NATO supported colonial powers in Africa, he is saying that Chinese have successfully recolonized the entire continent of Africa. Somehow, you guys see how like this is subtle racism here because it takes away the agency of Africa. So the United States, they impose their dominance and hegemony by the force of a gun. China does it by negotiation and building through their countries. So the implication by Tucker here and by neoliberals as well, they say this often as well, that China is colonizing Africa. The idea that, these dumb black Africans are being tricked into signing this contract that doesn't benefit them by the smart Chinese people. Do you see the subtleness in that? The idea that these African countries don't know what's best for them. They are done with U.S. influence. And through the building of China, which they have forgiven loans that they have given through Africa. They have never been predatory. They have forgiven and have not charged Africa for their loans. Meanwhile, you have France that bankrupted Haiti for having the nerve of overthrowing their slave masters. They've been paying reparations to this day, which bankrupted the country. But tell me more how China's the one who's colonizing. The IMF and the World Bank has been bankrupting these countries with these insane loans that do not benefit their people. So you guys see how everything Tucker Carlson says is a straight up projection that applies to the West instead of China? Are we starting to understand his role now? Chinese have succeeded in recolonizing Africa. What's happening in Africa? China now calls the shots and take natural resources for itself. The United States, a bootlicker for the United States, accusing another country that is building and reducing poverty through their programs of taking resources, when that has been our modus operandi for decades, which is why Africa, South American leftist movements like in Colombia and Brazil, in Nicaragua and Honduras, they're tired of seeing U.S. presence because they know what it's done to their people. And I'm glad that Caitlin Johnstone has been calling this guy out because he's been doing this as well. Maybe I should read more. I'll read more. Yeah, let me read more to the article. I want to make sure I'm not missing any comments. Thank you for the $5. I just saw a super chat. Thank you for the $5. KDK7. What do you think of taking over the Green Party as opposed to starting a new party? That is what I've been saying. I am not a fan of the Howie Hawkins wing of the party, though. I explained that many times. You guys should see my interview with Howie Hawkins, and you guys see why. But Jill Stein is based. Jill Stein is friend of the show. If you're part of the Jill Stein wing of the Green Party, we are for you. We support you. And we believe that you guys should allow, and which I talked to many people in the Green Party. They are willing. They want worker-based movement to take their party over. They have been infiltrated by people who they fell for shit-lib talking points. And that's me being very kind. But we had Jill Stein on recently, and she's still based. So I 100% support the Jill Stein wing of the Green Party. And that always made more sense to me because they already have ballot access. The Democratic Party have to kick them off the ballots. Other parties haven't even started that yet. So it seems like, considering the urgency that we in right now, doesn't it make more sense for us to focus on who have ballot access and fixing that party, right? Let's this is a good chat. Maybe I should read some chats because I don't have multiple monitors, so I can't see everything while I'm presenting sometimes. This is what Matt says. The IMF, specifically Germany, the UK, and France, and the US have been keeping Africa down as long as they could, so they could keep them where they keep the US working class. This is what Michael Prenti explained. Africa is not poor. South America was not poor. These countries was rich. The U.S. imperialists in Europe carved up Africa, they carved up South America, and stole our wealth. Look at it. Was there any Russian imperialist flags in Africa? Ask that to a shit lib and watch their head explode. Russia wasn't in Africa. It was the European powers, which I oppose. All right, what did I leave off? Let's continue to debunk this article in real time. I'm going way longer on the story than I thought but there's so much to break down because what he does is so subtle. He talking about how colonial, like cooperations between countries in building. You guys see how the right-wing populists completely destroy what colonialism and terms they stole from us. Isn't that funny? Right-wing populists take our terms like colonialism, steal them, and they bastardize them. And I'm going to explain to you guys the role of Tucker Carlson right here. Look at this. It's horrifying. So why isn't the New York Times writing stories about any of this? You know why? Because the New York Times is on China's side. The New York Times, according to Tucker Carlson and right-wing populists, the New York Times is on the side of China. My credit to Tucker is at least I can tolerate him over some other Fox News hosts. I tell you guys, I can't even listen to some of the other ones. I can tolerate Tucker because I see the propaganda. I see you. I see what you're doing. I see you, bro. So at least it's interesting to see the propaganda techniques that Tucker does. Like this one. My great friend, Caitlin Johnson, let me pull it up. Caitlin exposed the fraudulent claims of Tucker Carlson there. You see how Tucker Carlson, this is his role in U.S. imperialism and pushing for war. He wants to pretend that the Republicans and his allies are the good ones. This is the same thing that TYT and AOC and the squad does. They will speak good on the issues, but then they say, oh, this is why we got to support Joe Biden, which is propaganda. That is what Tucker Carlson is doing right now. Because he was like, the liberal class, the New York Times, they will never call out China. It's only us. We're the radical truth tellers here at Fox News Network. I am the radical truth teller. Tucker Carlson, I am willing to call out China. Because he want, and this is the plan of the right wing, ever since I've been watching them, they want to paint the liberal class, the Democratic Party who supports the Cold War against China, they want to paint them as China sympathizers, even though they are unhinged maniacs who've been full on support of this. And why does he do this? So people can support the other side that is doing the exact same thing that the Democratic Party is doing. Did what Caitlin Johnstone exposed. Look, Tucker Carlson, the New York Times is on China's side. Meanwhile, this is the reality, and this is what we covered. If you watch our channel, you will know how ridiculous Tucker Carlson trying to pretend that the New York Times is pro-China is. They release like an anti-China story at least once a week. At least. I could dedicate an entire show to the anti-China stories that come from the Washington Post and the New York Times. But you see how Tucker Carlson like, oh, they pro-China. The liberals are pro-China. We are anti-China. We should support us. Because for some reason, if you're anti-imperialist, you're supposed to be for ending the state that is building and uplifting and lifted a record amount of people out of poverty. I don't know the logic. I can't explain it, but he's the most popular cable news host. This is why we got to do this. This is from the New York Times. Invisible Cage. How China is policing the future. And then they say more than 1.4 billion people in China are constantly watched. They're recorded by police cameras everywhere on street corners and subway ceilings. Oh my God, China! They're recording and they're watching their people. It's almost like that sounds just like us. We literally have a spying program on our own citizens. We in New York City, the blue state, they have stop and frisk. They got stop and frisk in multiple cities to this day, where the police can be like, "Oh, you look suspicious. Let me frisk you. Let me pat you down." Are you serious? And that once again, I'm not one of the people that blindly praises China. Like when it comes to censorship, like I don't think that's necessary for what I believe a socialist state should try to achieve. I just don't think it is. So I'm not like a blind pro-China guy. But everything the U.S. accuses China of doing, the U.S. is escalating to the 10th degree. They say China is this police state, but China has 1.4 billion people, but they have less people in prison than we do. How does that make sense? We literally got like a fourth people of China. I think we got like 350 million, more like 400 million when you count the people they don't really count, right? We got like 400 million. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. So China literally got like a third. We got like a third of China's population, but we imprison way more. But the New York Times want you to know how China is a prison state. But according to Tucker Carlson, why isn't the New York Times writing these stories about this? Meanwhile, there it is. So you see how Tucker misleads his audience, just like everyone else. Here's another one. From the New York Times, a looming threat. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has civilians in Taiwan taking China's aggression more seriously. Bro, the New York Times almost every day write a story talking about Taiwan and China, even though Taiwan is a part of China. The Chinese invasion of Taiwan. Taiwan has spent more than 7 decades under threat of invasion, even though it's literally fucking China. Let's be clear. Another New York Times article. Red flags for forced labor found in China's car battery supply chain. Tied to potentially coercive labor prices could prove a problem for an industry that is heavily dependent on China. think there's one more. In 2019, protesters. Look at this one, bro. Remember this? Where the liberal class wrote this like it was a great thing. In 2019, protesters stormed Hong Kong's legislature in bold defiance of Beijing. Isn't that an insurrection? So remember the whole January 6th hysteria that comes from shit libs? The same thing was happening in Hong Kong. They're like, this is great. The people, they were standing up against their authoritarian government. But then it happens here. They're like, oh my God, January 7th. Sorry, January 6th. We had a coup. The rednecks and the trucker hats almost waged a coup against the United States government. But it's a great thing when it happens in China, though, which was a color revolution, as Danny Haifong often explains. Holy shit. We are 50 minutes in. I didn't finish the whole damn article yet. Man, I might have to edit the title because I don't think I can get through all the stories today. I'm almost an hour in. I was trying to keep these shorter. I think you guys enjoy shorter videos, right? That's why I'm here. But let's wrap this segment up with this. Hope you guys see my argument against Tucker Carlson. It's not the same argument that make my eyes roll, which the argument that shit libs use against Tucker Carlson, you know? That's the one that make our eyes roll when we hear it. Because the whole thing is, yeah, he pushes the great white replacement theory, but the Democrats legislate that. You guys are no different than him. So that's why it's like, how are you going to try and call this dude out when you guys believe in the same shit? So I hope you guys heard the leftist critique of Tucker Carlson. Carlson, what he does, he portrays himself as this anti-establishment hero. He's going to share this unique knowledge with his viewers. This knowledge you will never hear from the New York Times. He's going to call out China in a way that the New York Times would never do, even though we just show how they release this shit all the time. So he pretends that he's going to say this anti-imperialist, this radical knowledge, but then he supports the same goals of U.S. hegemony. There is not one issue, according to the U.S. empire, that is more important than U.S. domination of China. Are we clear? That is the most important goal. Oh, damn, I forgot to change this. I got to learn how to change these better. Tucker Carlson is imperial. That's the segment. That's the most important. The war against China is the most important goal of the United States empire, which is why the New York Times and the Washington Post will often release hit pieces as well on China, despite what Tucker says. So he gives the appearance of fighting the U.S. empire while sharing its goals, like sharing the goal of overthrowing and supporting the coup in Venezuela. So I'm gonna show you guys just a few more receipts. Damn, I might literally just edit it just to the Tucker Carlson segment because I don't got time to cover the other videos, the other segments today. Leave a like, share, subscribe if you want me to cover another story. Leave some super chats as well. China and Russia declare new. Let me share the screen. According to Tucker, China wants to take over the world. According to shitlibs, Russia wants to take over Europe. China and Russia declare a new era of multipolarity, challenging U.S. interventionism. When they had this summit and when Putin just gave the speech, which they will never tell you what he says. You guys notice that? Like, Putin is this evil dictator. You think our establishment would be interested in hearing what he has to say, right? He gives speeches all the time, and they never air it. They will just lie about the speech. They'll say Putin gave a speech today where he declared war against the West. This is why he declared war against the West. He said he wants to declare an era of multipolarity, which is, if you're an anti-imperialist, this is what we want. We want the end of NATO. We want the end of U.S. dominance. They were leftists in Africa. They were leftists in South America once. And this is what China and Russia did, what President Xi says all the time as well. But according to Tucker, this message of ending U.S. dominance is them trying to take over the world. Are we clear now when you follow RBN what it means to be anti-imperialist? There's so many people who get this shit wrong. I had Caleb Maupin. Caleb Maupin, he get this issue right. I love like he want to big shout out to him. Big shout out to many of the anti-imperialists that we have on our show. Big shout out to Misty, Fiorella, everyone at Convo Couch, Ben Norton as well. Like the people that you see on RBN, we are the one who getting this right. Whenever you see people like pretending that Tucker Carlson is anti-war, he's not. Actually, I think this is a good one. I think this is good to wrap up. Just in case my argument has not been clear, just in case you guys forgot, Tucker Carlson tried to join the CIA. He literally tried to join the CIA. And they say his application was denied. And ever since he's been an established media head, you guys think the CIA hasn't had his fingers on Tucker Carlson? You don't think he's a useful idiot of the U.S. empire after this hour segment I've done on him? I remember when the story came out, you know, the Democratic Party and the liberal class who loves the CIA, I remember they used this as a got you against Tucker. Well, it was like, ha ha, because you know how they support our insane criminal intelligence communities, right? So they was like, ha ha, Tucker Carlson, you guys think he's great. He was denied by the CIA. You guys know he applied to the CIA and he was denied. Ha ha, you suck. Meanwhile, you guys see the take that leftists will have? He's like, look at this motherfucker trying to join the CIA. What kind of fucking spoof is this? Fucking goof ass goof trying to join the CIA. And people think he's anti-establishment. So let's try to read some comments. Hopefully, once again, I already know the large segment of Tucker Carlson fanboys are not going to like this one. But I think the case is clear. What the fuck he supposed to do? I'm going to try to read some... I'm going to try to read some comments here. This is a good point. Lots of CIA toadies are worse at their job than Tucker. For the people who do not believe the influence of the CIA, because there are a lot of people who want like, oh, the people who talk about the CIA, man, they push conspiracy theories. There are 20,000 CIA officers on the books right now. You guys know that? Google it. According to our government, 20,000 CIA officers. And that's just on the record, guys. They're not considering people that author books, CIA plants. Do you guys think that these people are just twiddling their thumbs and doing nothing? They're cooing countries. They're doing media ops. Man, I don't know why you guys are mixed about Caleb, man. Watch my interviews with Caleb Maupin. We had good conversations. No one's above criticism, but I've seen some in the comments. I don't know why you guys are mixed on them, to be honest. I don't get it. I like the dude. I'm just trying to skip over the conversations. Sorry, damn, there's a fucking shit ton of comments. Maybe I should get to the next story. We need super chats, man. There's so many comments to get through. The main issue at the time is China. That's the most important issue. And Tucker gets this insanely wrong. Insanely wrong. America has already lost to China. With global issues of nuclear and climate catastrophe, we need to think more of the human species instead of patriotism. Yeah, I use patriotism as a trick to convince right wingers to give us healthcare. Because I'm like, how are you gonna say you're a patriot? How are you gonna say you're patriotic if you don't believe that we should have health? You believe that someone should die and go bankrupt because they don't make enough money, but you think you're a patriot? You think people should get paid a starvation wage, but you're a patriot. So I would use that talking point against people. But in general, I don't see the appeal of patriotism. I don't see it. But I do think it's a useful technique in order to win like people on our side, right? So let me know how the stream is going. I haven't been reading the comments this whole time because I don't have multiple screens. That's why if you want me to guarantee read your comments, super chats are the best way to do it. Yeah, we need a global left movement. I talk about it all the time. We need a international leftist movement. So the idea of being nationalistic, being being a patriot, when we should be reaching out to our brothers and sisters in Brazil, like Josana, our comrades in China, our comrades in Palestine. I don't see the appeal, but you could use it to bring people to our side, right? Thank you for a 499 Jack. The best CIA agents don't know they are agents. Now let me say this, because I see you guys, and I see you guys do this all the time. You guys always debate this whole patriotic thing. Use that as a tool to convert people, right? But I see people like cancel people. They're like, man, you believe that socialists should be patriotic? You cancel. Like, guys, that seems like a very silly reason to divide anti-imperialists, isn't it? Like I told you guys, as a black man in this country, I am not patriotic to our colonizers and the people, the slave masters that wrote our Constitution. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to be patriotic to this country. But I had Caleb mopping on, and we agree with a lot of great things. We had a lot of great conversation. He's an anti-imperialist calling out our system. So why would we divide our movement over this disagreement? I don't understand. Over such a small thing. It's such a small, oh, I'm a patriot. I'm not a patriot. That's such a small disagreement, isn't it? So that's just you guys see, I'm not patriotic, but the people who are patriotic socialists, I don't, that's such a small disagreement. It's not worth dividing an anti-imperialist and leftist movement over, right? Do you guys agree with me on that or not? That's just my take on it. Thank you for the $10. That covers a lot of comments because you guys have been debating this for like literally days. And that's me covering a few of the comments there. Thank you for the $10. Jola B. And you guys know, like, I be on Twitter, guys. I be on Twitter literally saying, fuck the USA. We should never be patriotic. Patriotism is fucking stupid and all this shit. But then Caleb Maupin would still come on the show. So he obviously not butthurt by it. Why should we divide a movement that agree on so much over something so small? Right? That's just my thought. Anyway, $10. Thank you for the super chat, Jolie B. Conservatives should love China for pulling itself by its bootstraps. That's great. That's a brilliant super chat. What do you guys think, man? I think you guys enjoy shorter videos, right? I think I really want to keep these solo streams to an hour, and I may just cover these other topics tomorrow or something. Because I know I'm supposed to cover the Biden story and the AOC story, but I think I want to keep these an hour. I might just add the title. So I can cover the other stories on the next stream. Because I don't have a lot of time today as well. I didn't know this segment would last an hour. I need to get better at timing my shows and scheduling my shows. Because I already knew there was going to be a lot to say regarding Tucker. Because there are a lot of people on the left that like Tucker for some reason. If I'm going to go after Tucker, I know I had to bring the receipts. And I think hopefully I did that. And why I don't respect him. Wait, what is this one? Oh, big shout out to my friend Zoya. I was about to hit Zoya, but I keep bothering her, so I was like, I'll do a solo stream today. Zoya, you can we gotta do calling soon. That's my great friend Zoya Shore, real activist on the ground for 10 demands. Should I do this next story? I gotta make it short. I'm debating right now. All right, I think this person is disagreeing with me. Let me read this one. Nick, you misunderstand communist patriotism. Marx said that the workers in each nation must take power in their own nations. Internationalism is where the interests of all nations are met together. I mean, that's why I'm a socialist. That's why I'm a Marxist, because I want to see our people and the quality of life of workers in this country increase. In terms of being a flag waver, like the U.S. flag is disgusting to me. And like no theory is going to change that. No theory is going to change the trauma that this country has given my people. So I love the people and I want to improve the quality of life for the people. But in terms of the USA as a nation, I am over it. I told you before. I said it before. This would never happen. But if you gave me a switch and asked me, the red button is if you want to transfer control of the United States to indigenous people. The blue button if you want to keep it the same. I am pushing that red button all day. That would never happen, but I'm for it. I'm done. And I don't think you. That is my interpretation. You don't need to be patriotic to this dog shit, imperialist, racist country to want to increase the quality of life for your neighbors. That's just me. But once again, I don't think it's a giant disagreement. I don't think it is. I just think it's all about interpretation, which I don't think we should. I don't think it should be something that's worth a fight. And I see you guys argue about this shit all the time. So I finally want to get my take because I see you guys argue, you guys ask about it. So that's my take on it. I try to. The last people I care about fighting are fucking Marxists and anti-imperialists. They're the last people I care about fighting. I want to fight. I'll fight Tucker Carlson all day though. I fight Joe Biden and his people all day. All right, let's do the last story. I'm gonna keep this 90 minutes because I do want to do this last story. I was debating while I go through the comments. If you guys want me to read one, leave a super chat. I see you guys though. I just can't read all of them. I can't read all of them. All right, let's do the next show. Sorry, next story. I guess I'll just say the AOC story for next time. I think doing the AOC story would be better if I have CJ with me, right? So CJ joins, maybe Nick and CJ, I'll say the AOC story for that. So let's do the story that, actually, let me start this way, just for editing purposes. The Democrats want you to focus on January 6th because they have nothing to run on. Is that clear? The Democratic Party is fundraising on Roe v. Wade, even though they're planning to do nothing about it because they have nothing to run on. Joe Biden has been an absolute failure, and I am not being hyperbolic when I say this. I swear to God. I can do a longer stream explaining my thoughts on this, but I truly believe that Joe Biden has been the worst president in modern American history, or I should say at least my lifetime, 31 years old. Let me say that. No, I'll go back as far as JFK. Joe Biden's been the worst. He promised to get COVID under control. He didn't do that. So if you vote, many people say they voted for Biden because they want to get COVID under control. It's just a fact that he did not do that. That is a fact. It does not matter what your stance on the COVID culture war issue is. It does not matter if you support mandates. It doesn't matter if you oppose mandates. It is just a fact that Biden did not accomplish his main fucking objective of getting COVID under control. Not only that, he abandoned every single progressive campaign promise. Every single one. Not only did he abandon them, he often doubled down and went the other way. So instead of implementing a public option, he doubled down and hiked up Medicare costs for elders and seniors. Instead of ending the kids in cages and ending Title 42, he fucking expanded it and deported more people under Title 42 than Donald Trump did. So it's beyond not accomplishing his promises. He took the promises. He said, not only am I not going to do it, I'm going to double down and do the worst version of Trump on that. He said he's going to get us back into Iran deal. He doubled down and escalated tensions against Iran. He said he's going to hold Saudi Arabia accountable. He started a Cold War where he got to beg Saudi Arabia for oil. And I can go on and on, but for the sake of the time of the segment, I'm going to end it there. The point is, he backtracked on every single promise. He has been an insane, unhinged war criminal. Oh, shit, let me change the... I got to get used to changing the banner. Which one is this? All right, there we go. Voters won't buy it now. I'm getting it, guys. I'm getting it. Yeah, and remember, people said Biden is the climate candidate, right? Meanwhile, he expanded fracking, expanded drilling on public lands, which, to be fair, that he did say he was going to do that, to be fair. Which is why it always confused me why climate organizations like Sunrise endorsed him, even though he's like, bro, yeah, we're going to frack, we're going to drill, we're going to expand the military. But you guys get it. I don't like Biden, right? But other people don't either, which is why this is the point of this segment. Voters want Biden out. This is good news. But if you're one of the people that are part of this poll I'm going to show you, and you want Biden to leave, and you're a Democrat, who do you want to replace him with? If you're a Republican and you want Biden out, who do you want to replace him with? You guys going to replace him for people who just want to implement the same policy? Can someone explain to me the point of doing that? But anyway, let's go to the article, which shows that people are not happy with Joe Biden, which is a good thing. People getting the revolutionary spirit, at least against Biden, because he's the figurehead. But the point of our channel and what Marxists say, Biden is just a symptom of the disease. So to be clear, when I say Biden, the worst president in modern American history, I am saying the U.S. empire has escalated to the worst point it's been, because the president is a puppet that will always do what the empire wants. The same as Donald Trump, and that's why Donald Trump didn't. That's why he didn't stand up for Julian Assange. That's why he didn't pardon. Instead of pardoning, he didn't pardon Julian Assange. He pardoned war criminals from Iraq and Afghanistan that committed atrocious acts. There's no difference between the presidents. Are we clear? 71% don't want Biden to run for re-election. 71%. They are done. 7 in 10 Americans say they do not want Biden to run for a second term, according to a new poll that comes as Biden approval numbers remain low and his party braces for losses this November. So I always got covered these stories in multiple ways. If you are one of the people, which I agree with, I want Biden to go, right? But if you want Biden to go and your answer is to vote for the Republican Party, slap yourself. What is the point? I got to make that point clear. Both our parties are ran and dominated by capitalist imperialist ideology. They work for the same donors who have capitalist, Zionist, imperialist ideology. So if you're tired of Joe Biden, why are you going to replace him with another capitalist that's going to do the same thing as Joe Biden? So I have to say that to start this story out. But the positive news is people are tired of Biden, right? So do you guys remember the story where AOC refused to endorse Joe Biden? That wasn't an act of rebellion on behalf of AOC. And I remember that what Jimmy said as well. Anyone who think that was AOC rebelling against Joe Biden, Democrats are already saying they quietly want Biden. They want him out. They want him out. Look at this poll. And this is why. I don't know what the hell this source is, but this is a poll from Emerson College poll. Okay. Trump, and we've been seeing this headline everywhere. Donald Trump leads Biden in a potential 2024 matchup. So because of the fact that Donald Trump, who I would say before was the worst president, they just keep getting worse. He's about to come back again and win. He's about to come back again and win. That's how bad Biden has been. So now Democrats behind the scenes, because they don't want to make the party look bad, they were saying, man, we gotta get rid of this motherfucker, man. He's about to fucking screw us. There are people that are in Congress and Senate, they were about to get washed because this motherfucker. God, there's a chance that we're going to have Herschel Walker as a senator in Georgia because of Joe Biden Democratic Party. And you guys know I don't give a fuck about Warnock at all. Fuck him. But goddamn. And I got to say, I am not looking forward to another Trump era. Are you guys? I am not. I remember the Trump years. The Trump years were clown ass shit from everybody. Everybody was on some clown ass shit during the Trump years. You had Trump being Trump, the right wing being authoritarian bootlickers, pro-war, insane trickle-down economic pushing scumbags. And then you had liberals that were pushing Russiagate. They were pushing Stormy Daniels shit. My God, Trump had his mistress. Did Trump got a secret? Guys, I am not looking forward to this bullshit again. I am really looking forward to seeing another Trump year. God damn. But this is because of the Democratic Party. They are so bad they enable these Christian fascists just by the but just by them being shitty, by them being so horrific. This is the other part I was telling you guys about. You had Democrats. They are actively warring. This is what they're saying behind the scenes. Democrats' worries about a Biden 2024 campaign. Those worries are getting louder. And that's why AOC was on CNN. Actually, let's watch the video clip again because it was a while. Just to remind you guys, it's only 50 seconds. Let's watch the AOC video. And this is why she didn't endorse him. Oh, 1 second. Here we go.
I want to ask about President Biden. He is saying he's going to run again in 2024. Will you support him?
You know, if the president chooses to run again in 2024, I mean, first of all, I'm focused on winning this majority right now and preserving a majority this year in 2022. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I think if the president has a vision, then that's something certainly we're all willing to entertain and examine when the time comes.
That's not a yes.
Yeah, you know, I think we should endorse when we get to it. But I believe that the president has been doing a very good job so far. And, you know, should he run again, I think that I think it's we'll take a look at it. Okay. But right now we need to focus on winning a majority instead of a presidential election.
Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
LC, stay on that clown ass shit. Dude, she looked like a clown in that interview. I think Biden doing a great job. Read the room. Why would that even be your political strategy to say that when you see that Biden and Kamala Harris is literally one of the most unpopular presidents and vice presidents in modern American history? So how does it even make sense to plant your flag on their team? Can someone explain that? Even if you disagree with me, how does that even politically make sense? 71% of voters don't want Biden. The Democratic Party is sinking. But the squad, they're like, yeah, the left, we all about Biden. We all about some Democrats. And people wonder why the left in this country is so shitty. But I want you guys to understand, that wasn't her going rogue. That was her saying that because these numbers. That was a quiet admission of what this segment is covering. So I got time. So let's get into the AOC story. Just so the headline is not clickbait. Because I want to get through all of them. I'm trying to go faster because I'm trying to get through this in time. This is the latest video from AOC. I'm gonna show you guys this. I'm gonna show you this. This is why. Yeah, this is you was ahead of me. This is the story. Thank you for the $5, Nima. Will you be getting your nails done as an act of reclamation like Queen AOC? So, do you guys know why the United States left has no revolutionary discipline? Oh man, I got to tweet about this one. Oh geez. Oh well, fuck it. But we've been covering how the left in this country has no revolutionary discipline, and this upcoming segment with LC, you guys are gonna see exactly why. Because LC also been another person who pushes January 6th hysteria. Thank you for the $5. Emperor Forever. I strongly believe the reason the establishment is pushing January 6th is because they know they can't beat Trump in 2024 if he runs again. Bingo. It's obvious to everyone, except people like AOC, who, when the January 6th hearings first started, which has been a clown show, been a fucking clown show of complete insignificance to the working class. When the first day of the hearing, she was like, "This is so powerful." I still remember it like I was there. So whenever you see a shit-lip progressive that support January 6th, just know it's because of AOC. TYT report on this shit every day. The majority report on this shit every day. Because of people like AOC, they take the lead. That's why we have no revolutionary discipline in this country. Because AOC has more influence than us, obviously. She got 12 million Twitter followers compared to my 80K. We are just a channel we about to hit 20K. RBN to 20K, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and share. But we only got 20,000 subscribers. at the end of the day. Our influence is nothing compared to AOC. If only it was. Do you guys want to know why workers are so weak in this country? Why the left is so weak in this country? Even though the left is winning in South America, in fascist regimes like Colombia, Lula about to win Brazil and Honduras, Nicaragua, all these countries that have fucking fascist U.S.-backed regimes, they won because they're not led by social democrat DSA clowns who believe the best route is going through an imperialist capitalist system. Look at this shit by LC. Look at this. This is a recent Instagram live where all her followers and sycophants finally get ahead of politicians they can treat like a celebrity like they always wanted. I don't get it. Why are we treating politicians like celebrities? But that's why AOC, the establishment, love her. They made Barack Obama a celebrity. They had Jay-Z and Beyonce dancing with Barack Obama back in the day. Let's make this motherfucker a celebrity so he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Barack Obama, Dick Ryden, Obama. They all was all for it because they need a celebrity to be the mantle of U.S. empire, right? This is AOC. Hold on, so let me make sure the audio is good. And I'm going to play the video without comment. Jesus Christ.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. And I say happy because joy, too, can be an act of resistance. I want to talk about personal acts of reclamation because sometimes people will say, there's nothing I can do, I can't do, I feel so powerless. And there is no act too small that you can engage in. And even today, I have a personal errand. I need to redo my nails. And I've decided that I'm going to use my new manicure as almost like a personal act of reclamation for me and my story. Hello, everybody.
I know you're struggling right now. I know the gas prices are high. I know Biden failed to deliver on any of the campaign promises that we helped endorse. I know things are rough, but think about me and my manicure, though. I'm gonna slay with these nails. Think about what me getting a manicure will mean for you and your family. What me getting a manicure will mean for you and your family. Slay queen. Slay queen. So instead of using her giant platform, which is a multitude bigger than ours, way bigger than ours. They're not talking about the war crimes of Joe Biden. You're not calling for a general strike. We having fucking fingernail videos right now. We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. That's the Nina Turner shit. We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. That's they learn. You got. AOC had to deliver the important message. Not only do we must resist Trump and the insurrection of January 6th. Her nails, guys, her acclamation is about her. I know you think it's about you guys, but don't you know AOC, she's the protagonist. She's the main character. You think this is about you and your struggles? You don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck. AOC and her fans, they don't give a fuck. Now you got AOC saying shit like this. I had to have fun with this one. So we're doing our rare AOC segment. I've been watching. I did one of these. Look what AOC saying now because of Roe v. Wade that we all knew was coming 5 weeks ago. They leaked this shit. 5 weeks ago, they're like, yo, the Supreme Court going to take away Roe v. Wade. And Democrats for 5 weeks was like, we going to be all right. We going to be. We just kicking it. Look at January 6th. January 6th, guys. We about to get this motherfucker Trump. Meanwhile, they took Roe v. Wade. Now, AOC's like, if a politician is asking you for votes or money, you could ask him for a plan. Pressure makes us better. But then, meanwhile, when Jimmy Dore and the left led the force and vote movement and called you out for voting for Nancy Pelosi, that was violence. It was violence when we called you guys out for supporting Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden. But now she's like, if a politician is asking for votes or money, you need to ask for a plan. Motherfucker, we've been asking for you and Bernie Sanders for a plan for at least 3 years now. We were like, what is your plan? Are we gonna do a general strike? Are you guys gonna march like we did in Kansas City? I gave a speech in the March for Man. Are we gonna do anything? Nope. But when we do that, AOC and her sycophants, that's violence. Oh my God, why are you calling out the bad politician we got, man? You guys trying to divide the left. And you guys see my response there, right? Where almost 1,000 likes there. I don't know why she even front. You guys see what she pretends she's doing? Well, she like, well, if you want, if we're gonna support a politician, they gotta show us a plan. Guys, the reason why she's saying this, because here soon, she's about to tell you to vote for the Democratic Party, implying that the Democrats have a plan. You guys see her with the point of what her role, the psyop that is AOC, her thing is like, we're gonna put pressure on politicians. We're gonna demand them to listen to the people. We should vote for Joe Biden because he's doing that. You guys see? We're done. RBN, we are done with this bullshit. And that's why I responded. I'm like, y'all literally about to campaign for Jim Crow Joe. I don't know why y'all fronting. She's trying to pretend that y'all motherfuckers about. Remember when liberals like, we're gonna riot. We're gonna riot when Roe v. Wade is overturned. I'm not seeing it. You got Biden like the literally first thing the Democrats did when Roe v. Wade was leaked was unanimously supported by Bernie Sanders, AOC, everybody, was to give more security to the Supreme Court. Biden come out like, violence is never the answer. Said the government that is literally killing people in the streets using, the fascist police force. Violence is never the answer, guys. As the police kills us. Fucking Americans, man. Americans would be like, violence is never the answer. And then they will beat the shit out of their kids. Some reason violence is only not the answer when it comes to opposing our capitalist government. Motherfuckers be had their kids beating the shit out of them. Like, and then you're like, oh my God, you guys using violence against the state? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Are we clear? If I'm clear, if you hit your kids, you're not allowed to complain about my politics. That's why I'm drawing my flag at. But I think that wraps up the LC story. Did I miss any super chats? Any super chats? I think that's a good way to end it. Yeah. There's too many comments for me to go through without having a producer. If you guys want me guaranteed get to it, please leave a super chat. But hopefully you guys enjoy the show. Well, that had enough story. Oh, let me show you guys this. This is not really a story. This is a great way to end it. So tonight, UFC champion Israel Adesanya is defending his belt. I remember my favorite fighter of all time, Anderson Silva. He passed the torch to my man Israel Adesanya. One of the best fights I've ever seen recently. He fight tonight, but that's not why I'm bringing this up. He is relevant. Because look at what he just said at one of his press conferences. Based as Israel Adesanya, cover something that I just covered on Nick and CJ, where we was calling out the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. Imagine if the Ghislaine, am I saying that right? Ghislaine Maxwell? Imagine if that trial got as much attention as January 6th. For the love of God. Do you guys understand how absurd our society is? Ghislaine Maxwell ran a sex trafficking operation that she worked with the most richest, powerful people in the world. And that was established by U.S. law. U.S. law just to establish the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell ran a sex trafficking organization with Epstein. But we are not going to tell you who her clients was. What? How How is that consistent with anything else? What? They ran a sex trafficking ring, but their clients, none of your business. So I'm gonna wrap up the stream with this, because our man Adesanya, Israel Adesanya, said this. Oh shit, let me fix the audio. He fine tonight, by the way. I'm thinking about doing a call-in. I'm doing a call-in later today. We're gonna talk about some martial arts later today at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Should be fun. We talking about all this crazy politics, so let's have some fun on call-in. I think I'm gonna talk about this fight tonight. So here's Israel.
Ghislaine Maxwell just got put away for 20 years. So she was supplying kids for all these fucking pedos, right? Where's the list? Is that just gets like, I don't know.
Kind of weird that got no coverage, but Johnny Depp and Amber was
everywhere. Yeah, and I'm like, so the list of, politicians and actresses and actors or whatever that they talked about, does that get swept under the rug? Do they not get any time for actually fucking those kids? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, that's weird that how that just doesn't compute with me.
So props to Israel Adesanya for calling it out. How is everyone who have a platform? If you have a platform, how are you not screaming this shit? How are we not screaming this? It was just not even like, if you said it's a conspiracy theory at this point, you're an idiot. It was literally established by law that Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell ran a sex trafficking operation, and then they not gonna release the clients. Bill Clinton, who was on Epstein's plane, Donald Trump, who was familiar with him, all the Wall Street goons, all the actors, celebrities. They're like, don't worry about that, none of your business. So, if you got a platform, you should be calling this out, because it's crazy. You also should be calling out the fact that there's literally no way that Jeffrey Epstein could have killed himself while he was on suicide watch. And then he killed himself, and it was like, we didn't see it because the video camera was down. Okay, what about the security guard? Oh, the security guard, he took a break. America, goddamn. The people really believe this shit. So anyway, mostly covers state violence, foreign policy, class war. But that is such a giant story. I think it's part of class war, right? It has to be covered. And honestly, I need to cover it more, to be honest. So I got a few more super chats, I think. Hopefully I didn't miss any. Thank you for the $5. How bad is Biden? I have shit-lived friends that were saying we were better off with Trump. Dude, if you say your shit-lived friends are saying that, that's something else. And I cannot emphasize enough, guys, how much I am not looking forward to another Donald Trump presidency. Everyone, our entire country turned into clowns. Liberals pushing Russiagate. Right-wingers pretending Trump is anti-war as he escalates the drone program. The kids in cages, DHS expansion. Like, guys, it's going to be fucking shit. The liberals will literally, they were complicit with everything Trump did, and they're going to do it again. God damn. Thank you for the $4.99, Steven. Hit up Ramiro, Sebastian, Funes. You need him on your show. Guys, my guest list is like fucking fat. You guys see the guests we just had the last 2 weeks. Fiorella Isabel was just on. Margaret Kimberly was just on. We just quoted her. Benjamin Norton was just on. Malika from Essence, she was just on. We about to have Tara Reid on next week. I've been getting a ton of guests for you guys. Hope you guys appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoying this content. Hope you guys want to like, subscribe, support the show. The algorithm is not our friend. It's not our friend. Not our friend. Damn, I need to start changing this more. I had all these good banners, but I didn't use them. Oh well. I'm getting better at this. I'm trying to get on my CJ game. So if you haven't checked out my interview with Fiorella, Mark Kimberly, Ben Norton, make sure you guys check that out. I need to get Q back on. Dude, I got so many people I'm about to invite on. Like, we're about to have a lot of great guests. We talk about Caleb Moppin earlier. I need to get him back on too. Let's get Caleb. Maybe Jimmy too. Man, give me some suggestions in the chat, man. We bring everyone on RBN. You guys see my interview series. I'm having 60 to 90-minute foreign policy conversations with the best people in the game. With the best people in the game that covering this stuff right now. So I feel blessed that I am able to do that. And I hope you guys appreciate the content. If you enjoy the stream, please support on Patreon as well. Let's keep it going. I want to get Richard Wolff, man. Fuck. Richard Wolff got on the A1 show. We got him once in the beginning. RJ and Jackie got him once in the beginning, but a lot of these people, man, they're like, we don't want anything to do with RBN for some reason. I try to get Chris Hedges too. But we're lucky to get the people that we get. We got a great community. I'm not going to beg anybody, but we want to hear from anyone. So I appreciate you guys. Yeah, Robert Durden. We got to get Robert back on. It's been a while. Been a while since we have Robert on. Misty. Dude, guys, you guys saw the RBN community. The RBN community is growing. Oh yeah, we about to start a Discord. Zoya, I know you're watching. Zoya, we about to get a Discord popping. And then that's gonna be a great way I can get guests too. So if you're part of the Discord community, I'm gonna start throwing roundtables for anyone that's part of Discord. So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. It was a good show. Hope you guys enjoy. I may jump on call-in today around 6 p.m. Eastern time. Talk about the UFC. We see. But thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one.